All right. Hey everyone, I'm pretty sure we're live. Just double checking. As I always do, yes we are. Fantastic. Hi everyone, hi friends. This is Allison, my pronouns are she, her. I'm the executive director of the Gallatin County Democrats. And every Tuesday and Thursday, I get the pleasure and honor of speaking with our Gallatin Democratic representatives about what's going on in the legislature. And tonight I am joined by Representative Kelly Kortum from House District 65. Welcome, thank you for being here.
Thank you. I always love talking to you and everyone out there, so thank you for having me.
Yes, well, we love hearing from you and talking with you, and it's great to see you. So what's been going on the last couple of days for you and your committees?
A lot of what is called executive action. The hearing is one day, and that's when you hear public comment and ask questions of witnesses and proponents and opponents. But the executive action comes days later, and that's when you, in your committee, just kind of decide what to do, whether it needs amended. And then you vote on it and send it out to the House floor or table it and let it die. So that's what we've been doing a lot of lately. And there's been a lot of bills that we heard 2 or 3 weeks ago that are kind of exciting that we're just deciding on right now, and will be on the House floor in a few days.
Awesome. Sorry, my cat is yelling at me, so I'm gonna pull her up. Yay, from work from home.
Yeah. I have a few specific bills I'd love to talk about, if that's fine.
Yeah, please.
The one I'm most passionate about is House Bill 176. That's a bill that would end same-day voter registration and bump late voter registration back to the Friday before the election. I'm super opposed to this. So many people use same-day voter registration, not just people that have moved in from out of state, but people that have moved to a different county or even changed precincts in their own county. Under this, if they just found out that they weren't registered to vote, they wouldn't be able to vote on election day. And that is not democratic. And there's no upside to it, except for, I think the one thing I did here is like elections officials will have to do less work, which, is probably true, but like, it's kind of a fundamental right. So we should, as a state, invest as much as we can into ensuring our citizens get to vote. So that's one that we'll have executive action on very soon.
Okay.
House Bill 121 is a public health bill. We amended it 3 times today, which was pretty wild. What it will do is force or allow county commissions or city commissions, local government commissions, to overrule local health ordinances set by the health board. The amendment, which is kind of a horrifying idea, because the health board could issue an order and then the county government could override it the next day, and all the citizens would be confused, and it would just be horrible. The amendment today did help us a little bit in that they have to wait 60 days to and have a public meeting to overrule a health board order. So it's slightly better. Okay. I still voted against it, and it's still passed. So we're going to see it on the House floor in the coming days. And the last one I want to talk about is House Bill 106. It just came up. I just got out of a committee meeting a half hour ago on this topic. It would stop local governments from making local ordinances about health, particularly on the Clean Indoor Air Act. 11 local governments, either cities or counties, have made laws that said the Clean Indoor Air Act applies to vapes as well, vaporizers, tobacco vaporizers. And if this law passes, it would not only undo all 11 of those local laws, but it would stop any municipality from regulating or adding on to the Clean Indoor Air Act. So, in my opinion, is an attack on the local control of our health. Each city and county is different. Some towns need local laws, so like regulating cell phones while driving, or leash laws. And if this passes, it would kind of set the precedent to stop local control of any of that sort of stuff. So I'm really concerned about it too, and I will be opposing it.
This seems to be a theme right now where there's bills that are being proposed that take away local control, which seems to me to be very odd. And I don't like if you I don't know if you have any thoughts or want to share any thoughts on that, but it's just been something that I've been pondering, and I don't know, it just feels a little bizarre to me.
It's a theme, and for each version of that, whether it be the coronavirus measures or sewage systems, we've had, I think, at least one and another one coming up on sewage systems. This one's on vaporizers. Like, there's at least 2 or 3 attempts to like undo some of that, or yeah, it's weird this year that we're getting so many of those because the majority party is known for calling for local control.
Right.
So,
Right. Yeah. Okay.
seems
Well, we'll just leave that at that. So I understand that you have your first bill up for a committee hearing soon. Can you talk about
yes,
that?
I would love to. It's an exciting one. It's House Bill 248, I think. This would this would change Montana's primary date from June to Super Tuesday in March, allowing Montanans to have more say in who the presidential nominees are for their respective parties. I'm excited about this because by the time Montana votes in the primary, the rest of the United States has chosen our presidential candidates, and I would really like to have more say in that. I'm sure a lot of us would. There's some technical parts that we're still kind of fiddling with, but in general, that's just what it will do if it passes. And I will have my first hearing on my first bill next Tuesday. I believe it's the 2nd.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, the 2nd. So that'll be between 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. On the morning of the 2nd.
Okay. And is this in state administration?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Well, that's really cool. I love the idea. I for one am a very active voter, and I love voting in the primary, and it's always a bummer that we don't vote in the primary until June. And like that just kind of makes our vote a wash in a lot of ways. And so let's change that. I love it. Way to go. What other or bills are you hearing in the next couple of days that you're excited about or look forward to hearing more about?
Oh yeah. I'm working with Senator Bryce Bennett to come up with a bill that allows for postage paid ballots forever. One bar to voting right now is you have to have a stamp, or sometimes you need 2 stamps, and nobody knows how many stamps you need. Some younger folks don't mail a lot and don't know where to buy stamps. Like, there's a lot of problems with it's almost a poll tax, really.
It is.
And voting by mail is your right in the state. You don't have to have an excuse. Anyone can request a ballot to vote from home. So why don't we have our taxes pay for that, for this right for all of us, as opposed to having us have to come up with our individual stamps? So
yeah,
that's what I'm very excited about, and I'm excited to be working with voting rights hero already in the state on that issue. So that's fun. 2 that might not be coming up real soon, but are fresh in my mind because the deadline to submit new bills was just, I think, last Tuesday. So I got 2 bills in to help encourage youth engagement in politics and in their government. One would lower the required age for election judges to 16, so we could start engaging the youth in elections early, so they see how the process works. Not only would it educate, but election administrators across the state are short on volunteers to be election judges. So this would help that too, and serve as like one of those functions that engages the youth, like being a page at the legislature, or Boys or Girls State, or something like that. Just kind of a feel-good bill. I'm excited for it. And then I have another one that would allow 17-year-olds, if they're going to be 18 by election day, they would be able to vote at age 17 in the primary election because they have a stake in the next election. And that's exciting too.
Kelly, I love it. These are fantastic bills. Like, increasing voter access, lowering barriers, engaging youth. This is beautiful. Thank you. Amazing. We're getting a ton of comments right now about these bills that you're talking about. So
Awesome.
we're applauding you right now. I just want you to know.
Happy to answer questions if there are any.
Yeah, feel free to post a question if you have one. We'll be on for a little bit longer so we can take some questions. One question that came up earlier today for you, because you're, a new legislator, you're learning a lot right now. And one of the things that you recently posted about learning was our pensions for certain sectors of state employees or all employees. So like, could you talk a little bit about that? Like what you learned?
Yeah, that was a weird realization. I think it was the second day I was here. I learned that firefighters and police officers and highway patrolmen don't pay into or receive Social Security because of their career. They instead have to buy into state-run pension, which is fine. However, those state-run pensions are controlled by the state legislature and not guaranteed by the federal government. So therefore, they're more available to be tinkered with or rated or reduced or, in general, threatening people's retirement because of, local politics. And that's kind of why I made that post. Is it really woke me up to how important these are to the people serving our public and keeping us safe. So I started reading a lot more about pensions after I learned that on the second day, and that's why you'll see the unions really fighting to make sure that these programs continue, because a lot of our public servants have put 20 years into their career. Right. And if they don't have anything to fall back on, it's our future will be miserable.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And what a terrible way to, say no thanks for all your years of service if it does disappear. That's awful. Like yeah. Okay, well, that's really interesting. Another question that came up by someone who you know very well was, how are you staying sane through the last couple of weeks with all of the there's been kind of an onslaught. I certainly have been feeling the onslaught of all of these really terrible bills, and just how are you staying sane? What are some of your coping mechanisms right now?
I am talking to friends more over Zoom remotely. That has been very helpful. A little social hour after, a long day of staring into the box and hearing legislation and stuff. That's been really nice. Friends and my spouse, of course, helps ground me and keeps me sane. I've been starting listening to music without lyrics is just kind of vibey and relaxing. And while I'm listening to that, I respond or read public comment, which I'm getting 30 to 120 per day.
Wow.
So it just kind of sets my mood. I really enjoy doing that. And I've been sleeping better than I used to. Just going to bed like a responsible adult. So I guess all of that is, and then, head home for the weekend to see my spouse.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, good. I have to say that, so I think I know you fairly well, and you have found your calling, and we knew, all of us who know you knew this already, that you are going to do amazing work in the legislature, and you are, and everyone can tell. And I just want to thank you for wanting to be a public servant, wanting to do this work, and taking this leap and being a representative for Gallatin County in Montana. It's awesome. And I love the bills that you're sponsoring. That they're fantastic. Thank you for sharing those.
Thank you. Thank you personally, and everybody at home that helped me get here. I wasn't as convinced as all of you maybe that this is where I could really help, but it really feels like I have something to offer here. So thank you all.
Yeah, awesome. Well, we're excited. So if there aren't any other questions, it doesn't seem like anybody's posting any questions. I think we'll wrap this up. But Representative Kortum, thank you for your work. Thanks for the time this evening, giving the update. I'll post the information on the bills that you mentioned, just so people can kind of have some context around them later on. And we'll be back here live Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. I don't know yet who's going to be joining us then, but we know it'll be another great conversation. So send me questions when you have them. Know that, oh, there is a question. Okay, we're going to ask this question. I have no idea if you can answer, but why not?
I will try.
What is the legislature working on to address COVID-19 and vaccine distribution? Is there anything about that, or is that being handled by the governor's office?
I don't think the legislature has any role in that. We are a deliberative body. We plan for the years to come. Quick decisions like that, logistical stuff really belongs in the executive branch, and any organization that's happening there is coming from the governor's office. So I don't think we, as elected officials, besides the governor, has really any major role in that.
Sure, which actually brings up a good point, or a good thing to remember that we were going to bring up, is that Governor Gianforte is actually giving a State of the State address tonight at 7. I'm not sure which stations it'll be broadcast on, but I'm sure at least a couple of the local channels will be covering it. But he might be addressing the vaccine distribution problem. That would be my guess. Yeah.
I would guess that as well. I have heard that there's not as many television presences here as there typically are because of the crowding and the COVID. So one place it will almost certainly be is on the Montana Legislative website, where you can watch and listen. I'm pretty sure it'll be on there.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Perfect. So I'll post that link too. That starts in about an hour, little over an hour from now. That'll all be really interesting. We do see now people have questions. We like open it, we're about to shut down, and now there's all these questions. I love it. Which committee is your favorite?
Ooh. I have to say State Administration and Veteran Affairs. I like the other ones, but it is run so precisely. Everybody's even across the aisle very fair and polite. The bills we talk about, I love and I'm interested in, like pensions, voting rights, efficiencies gained at the state level. So I would say SAVA is my favorite committee.
Okay, awesome, cool. No hard feelings for the other committees. So this question are you an essential worker? Are you considered an essential worker?
That's been discussed in the past. I don't think so. I think some people have really lobbied to get legislators the vaccine early because they were going to be intermingling and talking so much. But with our remote option, I think just that happening has really not qualified all of us as essential in the eyes of at least our own body.
Got it. Well, it would be great if you all could get vaccinated sooner rather than later, but at least you can participate remotely. So, that was a silver lining.
Personally, I think there's some people ahead of us in the queue that really need on the front lines. The grocery store clerks, teachers,
absolutely,
healthcare workers. Yeah, so I'm willing to wait, and this is an okay medium for now.
Yeah, this works. We will all be able to gather together again someday. We just have to get through this first. So awesome. Well, thank you again. There are no more questions, and I am gonna cut it off now, but thank you everyone for watching. If you watched it live, thank you. If you're watching this later, thank you. Just want to say everyone who's engaged in the session is doing amazing work, and you are making a difference. If Kelly's receiving 30 to 100 or 120 like public comments a day, and he's not even on one of the committees that is more controversial, so I can't imagine what the representatives on judiciary, for example, are experiencing. That matters. Keep it up. Keep doing it. We're going to be posting some positive bills, some good bills, action calls to action here over the next couple days, because there's some good things that are being presented by our Gallatin legislators and other legislators. So stay tuned, keep an eye out. There are good things happening, and just remember that. So heading into the weekend, take a break, everyone, breathe, and we'll see you again next week. Thank you. All right, cheers.